This is Heart Pocket Podcast number 393 for April 21st, 2026.
Heart Pocket Podcast, seeking to align our hearts with God's heart, making our hearts more like the heart of Jesus.
Hey guys, this is Butch Vernon with Simply the Story and Heart Pocket Podcast. Good to be with you. I'm here in Hemet, California with my friend Kennedy. We're doing an advanced training this week, getting ready for a regular training next week. And I just want to apologize before we get started. I thought I was having some sinus issues when I came out here, but apparently I have a cold, so I sound like a deep bass singer, so hopefully my voice won't be too much of a distraction. Kennedy, it's good to have you with us, brother.
It's good to be here.
Now, can you tell our folks where you serve and basically sum up what you do?
Sure. My wife and I serve in the country of Thailand among Buddhist people, and we have been involved in reaching Buddhist people with the gospel and then discipling them and then seeing that form into groups of believers and eventually churches and then coming alongside other Thai believers over the years and helping them do the same thing. That's kind of what we've been doing over the years, more or less.
Well, how many years have you been in Thailand?
It'll be 27 years this February.
Wow, did you start when you were like 13 or something? Is that
No.
Well, I'm curious because you're here at an STS workshop, and you and I have worked together at some workshops there in Thailand. How did you get involved in Bible storytelling?
A good friend of mine had gotten involved in doing Bible storytelling, and he suggested that I go to a training. Simply the Story at a Thai church being ran by Thai people is all in Thai. And I did, and that's what really got me started into pursuing it because of how the Thai people responded to the Bible. I had never seen people in Thailand respond that way to like a sermon or just a typical Bible study or something like that. It was very different.
Yeah. Now, how long ago has that been? Now you got me curious.
I'd say 2012, somewhere in there.
All right. And so you basically have been doing STS for almost as long as I have. We've been doing this almost the same length of time. I think I started around 2010, 2011. What are some of the experiences you've got to have with telling Bible stories that might stand out to you in memory?
I remember going to the border near Laos, and there were about 80 Lao people that came over to Thailand. They wanted to be trained in Bible storying. So wow. I went with about 5 other Thai people who had been trained by Larry and myself and others. John Gittisan, and they all led the workshop, and I was a tribal leader, and we would take turns doing upfronting, typical thing. But what really impressed me about that training was there were people in that group that were very reluctant to do anything because they couldn't read or write, and I remember one woman in particular doing the story in my group, and she was very good at it. And she would just hear it, listen, and then she would do the story, and she could lead us in it. And she was really surprised that she could do anything. And it was really freeing for her. Like, yes. All of a sudden she realized, wow, I could do ministry with other people. I could give this away to other people in my country or with my people. And I think that was the first time she'd ever felt that way. And that was pretty amazing to experience.
Wow. And you bring that up. And I know I've had the opportunity of going to a variety of cultures, and even in the West, if you're in a group that is a more oral based group, seeing how quickly they can grasp a story is always just incredible to my highly literate mind, right? I think for me to learn a story, I have to work on it a little bit more, and yet I can remember being in Guatemala, working with a group of people in a village on a mountain there, and every single person in that training, if they heard a story one time, they got it because they were such oral learners. So now because you have been in Thailand for a long time, what has stood out to you about the difference between orality and literacy in your ministry? Because that's become a hot topic in missions now. But when you and I started doing Bible stories with STS, but I'd bring up orality or Bible stories, and people just look at me with a blank stare.
Sure. In the context of Thailand, when I think about people who are highly trained and highly literate leading in the church, the Thai people are very comfortable with that, and they enjoy that, and they like the idea of a guru, so to speak, or an enlightened person. That's kind of their culture in a lot of ways, and maybe around the world, most people enjoy that. And but when Bible storying was introduced to the same types of people in the church, the Thai church, they would become uncomfortable but excited, because it was like, oh, what's happening here? We're being asked questions and we're being called upon. People want to know what we think, and that was a new thing for them. So at first it was very uncomfortable, but then they realized, I have value. I can participate. And then it was like catching, and then they kind of get over that hard part, and then they would just get excited about it and want to do more of it. So culturally, it wasn't a very attractive thing for them. It was uncomfortable. But once they realized that they could be a part of it and participate, they really enjoyed it and liked it a lot.
Well, Kennedy, you bring up a point that I think is really interesting, because we've been doing some stories yesterday and today, and several of them about Jesus, and thinking back to Jesus's ministry. I mean, did he spend much time trying to make people comfortable?
Yeah, that's a good thought. Usually not. He usually made people feel fairly uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I do think from a Western perspective, well, almost from any perspective, right? I don't think it's probably fair to put that just on Westerners, because like you said, even the Thai, as they deal with uncomfortable things, all of us, when we deal with uncomfortable things, we're uncomfortable. That's why the word is there, right?
Sure.
But we don't like being challenged, do we?
No, because it demands something from us, or we have to make a decision, or we have to really think about what's being presented, and it makes a difference, right? So
yeah,
there's a response involved.
Yes, and with response, I love that word, because with response comes responsibility, right? It means, okay, I'm aware of this now. I can no longer say, "Oh, I didn't know that." I'm responsible for it. So yeah, I like that a lot. So in the areas there in Thailand, especially in your region, where you see people embracing Bible stories over the last 10 or so years, what are some of the changes that you have seen? What are some of the differences that you've seen, as far as especially in Christian culture, because the gospel has been in Thailand for over 100 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
And yet, percentage-wise, I'm thinking back to something that our friend told me. Percentage-wise, it's still a very small percentage of believers.
It's been there for
in Thailand
200 years, and it's still hasn't quite reached 1%. Some people say it has. Okay.
All right. Well, in the last 10 years, with the growth of Bible storytelling and orality, have you seen some beginnings of changes or rumblings of changes?
You've been listening to Heart Pocket Podcast. Interviews, Bible stories, in-depth discussions, stories of impact from around the world.
Yeah, there have been some big changes in the Thai church. A new church has started. I wouldn't say that they're doing like STS or Simply the Story per se, but they are taking more of an approach that would be more oral and empowering people to participate. And that movement's growing very quickly. Other things, I've seen people in the church who would never begin to lead because of Simply the Story quite directly, and become quite good leaders.
Yeah.
And they would have not had the opportunity to lead at all in the typical church system because no one would have noticed them.
Right. Yeah, and if you have limitations in literacy, or even a lack of confidence, I would say, in your literacy. Like I know many people that can read, but they would never read out loud because they don't have the confidence to do that, right? And so that would hold them back.
Well, Thai people can read and write fine, but most Thai people probably don't read one book in their lifetime.
Wow.
They're not big readers per se.
Yeah.
I think that's changing some. They're reading more, but they're not very, they don't really pursue that style of learning like they would a style of having someone show them how to do it hands-on. Most Thai people would rather experience something, see how it works, and then maybe read about it later as an afterthought.
Okay.
So, but the church doesn't really function that way. It's pretty much somewhat of a different model of you study, and prepare like crazy, and then maybe you present something. Even praying, they won't pray unless they go to Bible school,
Oh, wow. So they place restrictions on service, which I think there are a number of cultures that do the same. And, and the good part of that is honoring and respecting, but the bad part or the more difficult situation there would be the limitations that it places on restricting the number of people who can serve. And I think we have that here in the West as well.
Sure.
Where people feel like they have to get a certification or a training before they can do something. And yet biblically, I think we can make a pretty strong argument that Jesus sent out the called, not necessarily the perfectly prepared.
For sure.
Right.
And I've seen in Thailand where somebody will become very good at Bible storying, or they're drawn to that, and then the leader of the church has to make a decision to get behind that and help them and say, wow, this is really good. I would like to see more of this. Or they feel threatened, like, oh man, this person is they're not high status, or they're a housekeeper, maybe they have a 5th grade education, but they're teaching in a sense, like they're sharing and teaching the Bible in such a way where people are getting excited and they could feel threatened. So I've seen that happen.
Yes.
So it's very challenging for the status quo of church leadership. And I think for the most part, most Thai pastors would be excited to see something happen. I think most churches have a real genuine desire to see people discipled well and grow in their faith and get excited about the Word of God and want to share it with other people. But sometimes they don't know what to do. They're not quite sure how to handle somebody like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, here in the West, we have a number of church cultures where they honor and respect the position of pastor and the authority that comes with that role, many times better than what the culture I'm coming from does. It's a good thing, but the downside can be that it, again, kind of what we were talking about earlier, that it restricts other people's abilities just to jump in.
Yeah.
I read a book a couple of years ago on the Methodist circuit riders, and they were so impactful in spreading the gospel around the world, but especially here in the States. I'm from Kentucky, and so Kentucky was the western frontier back in those days, and it was just going wildfire. But some of the leaders of the church in those days decided that they needed to start making sure that everybody met certain academic or training, standards. And it ended up really just killing the rapid growth. And my people, the Baptists, jumped into that void because we didn't care how well educated people were. It's the downside, right? And so there is a balance in things, but that is something as folks who see the value of Bible stories that we have to wrestle with a little bit in helping people get around those hurdles as far as the control and the willingness to share responsibility. So that's an interesting thought. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, I know one of your deals is you're an artist, right? Now what type of art is kind of your sweet spot?
Well, I like all kinds of art. Something I've done in the past is, and I don't know if it's my sweet spot, but I've really enjoyed doing this, is doing Bible narrative style paintings in more of a Thai style,
right?
Like patterns and shapes, but then incorporating more of my own style in the actual imagery that you arrange in a Thai style. And that's been a lot of fun to do, to take those and find a venue and hang them up all over the place and just invite a lot of people in to look at them, and they ask questions, and you could actually tell Bible stories about each image. So it's
wow.
This is the whole painting's based on the book of John, or I did one on the book of John, one on the book of Romans, creation to Christ, another one on the book of Acts. And they're big paintings. They're like 80 by 90 centimeters.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, would that be in feet, 2 by 3.5 feet, 4 feet or something?
Okay. Yeah, cause you're getting into metrics. I was educated in public school in Kentucky, so we have our limitations there.
Those are fun.
So, what kind of experiences have you gotten to have as far as sharing with people through that? Can you think of any encounters that stand out to you?
Sure. Down in southern Thailand, I think we left about 2010. And I had just started to get into Bible storying around 2010, 2012, right before we left there. And I was painting the picture about the book of John in public at a market. We'd rent a spot, and I would just do painting in public, and people would come and watch me paint because they'd be curious, because it's a big, beautiful, very colorful painting with all these imageries. People would say, "What does that mean? What is this? What is that?" And then I just try to tell the Bible story. I wouldn't try to paint and talk, but just explain it, and paint and so on. And through that, I'd start an art class, and there was a big provincial high school there. So we started a high school church, really. Teenagers would show. And through that, some of those young people came to faith and spent a lot of time doing art together. So just trying to leverage something I enjoy doing in ministry to make it not so difficult and more natural, and fun.
Oh, wow. How creative is that? Yeah. That's, I like that a lot. That's awesome. And I do think for our listeners, you might not be a good painter. I mean, I can barely write my name, let alone paint a picture. But there are things you can do. For me, I was heavily into photography for a while and enjoyed the photography club. And it was so much fun. I got to be with people outside a religious environment. And that gave me opportunity to really talk about my faith and to have things questioned about my faith that made me dig deeper into why I believe what I believe, right? And it was just a real growth experience for me. And I got to minister to and with a lot of people. I love that idea of how you've taken something that is a more of a natural gift as opposed necessarily to a spiritual gift, and use that in a way to glorify the Lord. That's beautiful. Now, are you still painting?
I am. I'm not doing those types of paintings these days, but I'm doing lots of other paintings, and I'm trying to join the Thai Christian art network around the country. They'll let missionaries join and do artwork with them.
All right.
And I learn a lot from them. Some of them are, they're all kinds of people. Some are tattoo artists, which is an unusual thing for Thai people because that's very religious, very spiritual for Thai people.
Right.
The tattooing, it has a lot to do with the spirit world. And a lot of them are very, very traditional Thai artists, but they'll do narratives of the Bible in very traditional Thai art. So you look at it and it looks like something out of the, old Thai days, but it's about the Last Supper or,
oh, wow.
Sawai Chinawang, he's a famous Thai Christian, Northern Thai artist. He did a whole thing on the Book of Mark. He did a whole book of line drawings.
Wow.
Thai, Thai, they're into line drawings and based on nature shapes and stuff, but it's all these Bible themes.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love that.
Tune in next week for another episode of Heart Pocket Podcast, and feel free to subscribe on iTunes. For those who wish to have more information about Simply the Story trainings, please feel free to contact the office at info@simplythestory.org or call us at 951-658-1619. You can also visit our website at simplythestory.org. And now you can watch God's story in hundreds of languages just from our simplythestory.org website.
You've been listening to Heart Pocket Podcast, hiding God's Word in our heart pockets, changing the world one heart at a time.
When it sings of glory, I sing the new soul. Will be the old story that I have loved so long.